Hi, we're back for our second segment of tonight's episode of Hashtag SU. And I hope you enjoyed our episode on our Korean students, especially so that they are enrolled in the intensive English program of Silliman University. For this second segment, we have with us two of our part-time teachers for senior high school. As has been previously announced and based on the guests that we have had here on Hashtag SU, Silliman University is now offering senior high school. And we have two of our part-time teachers teaching media and information literacy. They're actually very busy because today we had our meeting for senior high school teachers and our orientation program as well, but I harassed them to be here tonight because they are actually my colleagues. I'd like to introduce them to our televiewers tonight. Miss Winona Jane Ahir. Hello, Winona. Greet your students who are, I think, watching us.
Hello, good evening, and hi to my students, section MIL.
Ayun, there you are. And Miss Ronelyn Faith Bailoses, who is likewise teaching media and information literacy. Hi, Ron.
Hello, ma'am. Hello to everyone who is watching, and of course, to my students who is watching now. Hello, Section LMIL.
Yes, and my section is Section F, and I think they are all watching us. Okay, our class is by tomorrow, right? Yes, very good. Now, you are actually newly hired part-time teachers of Silliman University handling senior high school, and you are fresh graduates of the Bachelor of Mass Communication program, graduating with honors as well. Now, may I ask Ron and Win and Ron, your impressions about this particular challenge, in as much as we are teaching the first batch actually of senior high schoolers. Win first and then Ron.
So as we all know that the only thing constant and inevitable is change. So, and sometimes change is good if the K-12 program is good for the Philippines to help enhance the education, then for me, it will be a good idea for the Philippines, ma'am.
Very good. And we have our first batch of students who are enrolled now for this first semester. And then, Ron, your impressions about the program that we're offering now in Silliman.
Okay. Being a part-time teacher, it is of course a challenge. And the senior high school curriculum that we have now is actually, for me, it's a great help for the students, especially that some of the senior high school graduates or maybe high school graduates are not yet ready or still undecided on what course they are going to take. So they have actually time to think about what career are they going to pursue in the near future.
Very good. Now, we are actually teaching those who are enrolled in the academic track, right? And all of us, all three of us, are handling the media and information literacy class. But we have three sections, right? We have three sections, and we have actually divided the module, as how we call it, into two parts. And very soon, we shall be ending our portion for media, and our colleagues from the College of Computer Studies will soon take over. But I am sure that your students have actually related to you because you're very young, very young teachers. Now, tell us what your impressions are or how your students actually relate to you and how you relate to them as well. Ron?
Actually, it was funny during the first day of school, especially that they asked us if they were our classmates and even asked us what section are we in. And then we just said we're coming from section G. And then the moment you introduced us to them, ma'am, they were shocked. They didn't know that we are their teachers, and yeah, as young as we are already teaching the senior high school, and it was challenging and fun to be with the students.
Correct. You know, I remember that Ron and Win, right? It was the first day of classes, and we actually played a game on our students. We did not immediately tell them, I did not immediately tell them that you are their teachers, because you were actually sitting with our students, and they were simply just asking you whether, your classmates or what section. And then, Win, I know that you have been very popular, right, Ron? She has been very popular with her students. Not only maybe because they look at you as whatever. Maybe maybe some of them look at you as not only as an ate, no, but of course they're very young kids, no. Ron, Win, your impressions on these students of ours who actually come from various places, right, and who come from different backgrounds as well.
At first, I really had a hard time adjusting because teaching isn't really my profession, ma'am. But as days goes by, I learned to adjust, ma'am. And I know that they have all different perspectives and attitudes and views in life. But my students are all good and they are all cooperative to me, ma'am.
You know, that's a very good point, no? You're graduates of mass communication, you have a different field of endeavor, you have different skills, but teaching, I think, I'd like to believe that education is at the same time communication, no? And since you're teaching media and information literacy, I think you are the best persons, no? To be able to relay this particular knowledge to our students. Now, so far, because this is what? This is now July 18, right? And we're almost ending our module. We will soon have our first assessment by the second week or the first week of August. But so far, how has it been? In terms of, like, for example, classroom management. No, these are senior high school students, although we treat them as college students, but nevertheless, they're very young. But you're also very young, no? So how do you deal with, let us say, unruly students, or maybe like classroom management for that matter? Yeah, Win.
For me, ma'am, my students are sometimes really talkative,
Yeah,
ma'am,
oo.
and they are also very competitive, really high school, still high school students, ma'am, but for me, ma'am, I always repeat to them that they should listen and respect because respect begets respect. And I always repeat to them, ma'am, na attitude is part of the good ma'am grade.
Yeah, that's really very true. But you cannot help it if they will be talkative, because I think being talkative would mean that they're also responding to what we had taught them. Yes, Ron. So far, how has it been for the past few weeks?
It was fun, but as a teacher, of course, you have to believe that patience is really a virtue. And then you also have to empathize with your students, since education is two-way communication, or it's a two-way process between you and your students. And of course, you also learn from them. And it's quite amazing that my students are also very enthusiastic and interactive and very participative in every classroom discussion that we have.
So far, with the modality that we have adapted, right? We have had like a senior, not really, I don't want to call it as a senior lecturer, but all three of us, no, both of you have actually experienced and undergone being the lecturer on a particular day, and we have had that as a modality. Same with the other endeavors that are also teaching in senior high school. So like on a particular day, we take turns, right, doing a lecture. And then on another day, they have their activities. But so far, maybe you can tell our televiewers, especially those who are watching us and currently enrolled in senior high school, perhaps in other schools for that matter, maybe not really going into detail about what we do, but so far, what have we been doing and what have we engaged our students in? We had like I think we had skit presentations, no? Yeah, Ron.
So we
yeah,
are
Ron.
not just limited about lecture or
Yeah,
just
correct.
classroom discussions. Of course,
Yeah.
we also need the participation of each students,
Yes.
wherein we have a lot of activities such as that showcases their talents, especially though some of them are good in drama, broadcasting,
Yeah.
even singing and dancing.
Okay.
So we had an activity, or we have activities
Yeah.
wherein they can actually use what they have, their potentials.
Correct. Because after all, this is media. Yeah.
Yes.
Win.
Or some of our activities were charades, skit presentation, and then pass the message, ma'am.
Okay, yes. And I think this all contributes to their the relaying of the knowledge and also retention, because I think that's very important, no? In senior high school, because you have not experienced senior high school, right? No. You are, yeah, definitely. You're in the, so to speak, the traditional educational system, because this is the first batch. The learnings that they have gotten, especially from their other classes, because this is the academic track, I wonder if they were able to like share with you their experiences being in the university now. They came from other schools for that matter, right? And we engaged them in an interview. But so far, I wonder if you were able to engage them in the experience that they are undergoing right now, being in the university. Like, have there been changes in the way they were treated by their classmates? Maybe for one, it's the no uniform policy, because in junior high school, they really wear uniforms, right? But we don't have uniforms in senior high school. Yeah. Maybe Ron.
The students, especially those who are coming from the neighboring towns or even from Mindanao or the far-flung areas in the Philippines or wherever, the first thing that they have to do when they go to a certain place which is so foreign to them is to adopt or adjust. So far, the first step that they had actually shared to us is that they have to gain friends and they have to know the system that's going on in Silliman University and of course in the city. So I think that's what they have been doing for now.
Yeah, very good. So far, Win, have there been some students of ours who like approach you and say maybe they are homesick, no? Because some of them do not come from Dumaguete. Yeah.
As of now, ma'am, my students has not approached me about that, ma'am.
Yeah, I think they're so busy enjoying the campus and maybe making friends with one another, no? Right? But you know, these students of ours, although they are what you would call as actually college students, but we label them as senior high school, right, are still very, very young. So they're very impressionable. They ask questions, and I think that's what they do in our classes, right? They ask questions. I think Win is correct when she said that they're very competitive. They would ask to know why they got the wrong answer and what the correct answer would be. So in other words, what I'd like to ask from you is, how do you motivate them to really do better? And how do you motivate those who are already doing good to even maybe excel from where they are at present? Maybe Ron and then Win.
Okay. In education, it is inevitable for us to really commit mistakes. But the thing I would like my students to remember is that in every experience that we have, all we have to do is get the lessons from it and learn from it and apply those lessons in order for us that whenever we experience such thing in the near future, we are able to know what are we going to do. And just accept what, if you have got a wrong answer, anyway, you can still correct it if when the time comes, like that.
Or Win.
And for me, ma'am, I always remind my students that they should not be too competitive, ma'am, and they should enjoy their education, ma'am, by not competing with their classmates, and they should keep dreaming, ma'am, and keep doing their best on what they will do.
Yeah, you know why the competitiveness always crops up. I think in our classes, as always, we have been confronted with, ma'am, what is the answer or what is the correct answer? It's like it's the end all and the be all of their existence, what the correct answer is. But you are right, Win, no? And Ron, we tell them, just enjoy what we're learning here. Yes, definitely we will tell you what the correct answer would be, but let's not be too cramped and really get perhaps the best score or something like that. I think the reason also is, I was just informed by our colleagues in the senior high school department, many of them are actually honor students. Yeah, so they come from various schools, but they really graduated, I think, at the top of their class, so maybe top 10 and so on. Thus, and that explains why, because they're in the academic track, no? Yeah. Now, you are fresh out of college, both of you. They both graduated with honors in mass communication. This is your first time to actually teach, but you are also pursuing, no? Hope to pursue graduate studies and also perhaps take the licensure exam for teachers if you really would want to be in this particular profession. But in the course of our teaching our students in MEDIL, in Media and Information Literacy, I wonder, maybe the experiences that you have just had as interns, no? You have graduated, but you were interns also in the media outlets where you have gone. I wonder if there may be certain learnings or certain insights from your internship program that you had gathered and that you would like to share? Because these students are actually may eventually choose, no, the mass communication degree or the mass communication program. Yeah, Ron and then Win.
For the internship, I have learned a lot of lessons, and basically, it is not just about the book. Basically, the experience is really the best teacher at all. And what I can say to my students is that the very important thing of being a mass media practitioner or being a journalist is that you must be an advocate for truth and for fairness. And that would be your the fuel that must keep you going if you are going to pursue mass communication, of course.
And I think that should be harped on them early on, no?
Yes.
Yeah, Win.
During my internship days, it is really a survival for the fittest, ma'am, because sometimes you need to be alone, you have to do things alone, but you just have to keep believing on yourself that you can do it and you can finish your task well.
Correct. The recent seminar workshop that you had actually attended in Cebu, sponsored by Probe Media Foundation, am I correct? And where you actually met the 2016-2015 Journalists of the Year, and there are 3 of them: Howie Severino, Marites Vitug, and Nancy Carvajal. Very, very quickly, with a few minutes that we have left, what insights have you gathered from that particular seminar workshop? In not too many words, yeah.
Traditional and digital media is actually working together for us to be informed with the necessary information that we have to acquire from anything, of course, and that it is important for us to know how to use it and how to really analyze and evaluate the informations that we get.
Good, yeah, very good. And then Win?
Traditional media and new media will continue to coexist and reinforce with each other, ma'am.
Yeah, very good, very good. And I think our students, I think many of them are actually monitoring our whereabouts. You know, they're very, very engaged. They are on social media because after all, that is also what we teach them. They are in media and information literacy. I was about to say, maybe we can give them a test on what we had actually discussed today. No? But maybe very, very quickly, as we end this particular segment, Ron and then Win, maybe you can greet whoever it may be, and maybe last few statements as we end this particular episode.
Of course, I would like
greet
to
our students. Yeah.
I would like to greet my mother and my father and my 2 siblings, of course, and to my friends and family and relatives, and of course to my students and all the people I know and I don't know. Hi.
Hi to my family, friends, and relatives, and to my students also. Good evening.
And we will see them all by tomorrow, right? Yes, as well as our oral communication classes and the other classes that are enrolled in senior high school. There are quite a number of them, and we just had our orientation for new teachers, including everybody in the team for senior high school. And we'd like to greet as well Professor Flor Siliero, our very hardworking principal for senior high school. So with that, thank you very much, Ron. Hope to see you again tomorrow, of course, in our class. Thank you very much, Win. And definitely this is not going to be the last time as you share your experiences being our part-time, no? But soon to be full-time senior high school teachers. Thank you once again. So with that, friends, we bring to a close another live episode and another segment of #SU. We hope to see you again by next Monday. And our replay is tomorrow at 12:30 noon on this same channel, Channel 6. And we can also be seen later on YouTube. This has been Cecil Henove bidding everyone a pleasant evening.